Hi guys, it's Bunnymon and welcome to today's video. For today, I will be reacting to Men Dominates Women in Netball State Championship, men versus women in sport. I've already done 2 videos like this and they went viral on my channel. If you want to check them out, click here or check out the link in the description. This is by the Poor Man's Podcast Reacts and he shares his opinion about it. So it's cool to see like the opinion of a man reacting to such a video and then the opinion of a woman reacting to such a video. So let's go.
Unified on court, but a different attitude. Unified on court, but a different attitude among the crowd.
These are for girls only. Remind me of your gender again.
The Queensland Suns all-boys team, the new under-18 state champions, beating Bond University's Bull Sharks, an all-female side.
They should have forfeited. Yet again, we're seeing male entitlement.
Everyone should have the right to participate in any sport they choose, and it doesn't matter what your gender is.
What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video. Give me the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Let's get right into the video.
All right.
An all-boys netball team is allowed to compete against an all-girls team for the state title. Now, the all-boys team wins every match, running up huge scorelines, including a 30-goal victory in the grand final. All the while, parents watch on, they're angry, but they're powerless from the sidelines. Now, it all sounds like a bit of fiction, doesn't it? A Hollywood movie. That's exactly what happened at the Queensland Netball Titles earlier this week, where the all-male Queensland Suns blitzed their all-female competitors to be crowned the Queensland Under-18 State Champions. Now, it's been labelled crazy and unfair, but Netball Queensland is refusing to apologise. For her reaction, I want to bring co-founder of Save Women's Sport Australasia, Catherine Deves. Catherine, you may have been a netballer in your day. I was. I played mixed netball, but I don't know if I'd like to be in a team of women going up.
Is it just me? But every time she says netball, I hear nipple. Moving on.
Against a team of athletic men. Who in their right mind thought this was okay?
Honestly,
I was a field hockey player, but what I'd like to say is that when Netball Australia says this is all about inclusion, who's being included here? Because it's certainly not the women and girls.
I agree, though.
No.
They're being excluded.
Me too.
They're being expected to yet again sacrifice their sports to make sure that men and boys feel included and men and boys feel good about themselves. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous, and I'm not surprised that the parents are absolutely furious about this, and I am sure that if the girls were asked privately, they would also be very unhappy with what's happening here.
I agree.
me
Yeah,
too.
you're referring to a statement by the Netball Queensland CEO, Catherine Clark. I'll put it up on the screen for people. She said that we stand by the decision to choose inclusion over exclusion. Let's judge the decision in 12 months' time and see how many boys and men's team we have. Because if we can't, you can't be it if you, you can't see it if you can't be it. Now,
This stuff is honestly like comedy at this point. It's hard to watch this and actually take this stuff seriously.
True.
Because what's going to happen over the next 12 months is more and more men's teams are going to flood the league.
Yeah.
Because they see that you're being inclusive. They're going to continue to dominate until the point
And they're gonna just try to use it to win titles. You know, like, easy.
where women don't want to compete anymore because they know that they don't stand a chance against the men.
And not only that they don't stand a chance, you have no idea. Like, it feels like bullying at this point where you give everything and there is just physically not possible for you to win. Like, it's not possible. It's impossible mission. And of course they're gonna give up because, like, would you rather just destroy everything in your life to try to win so freaking hard and like have 0.00001 chance? Or would you rather just move on and find something easier to do?
That's what's going to happen if you continue to be inclusive. And I tip my hat off to the men's team because they were absolutely trolling. Because netball is predominantly a female sport, when they wanted to throw their own tournament, they didn't have enough men. So they said, hey, we should be inclusive. All genders are fluid. We're all the same thing. There are no differences between men and women.
Everyone should have the right to participate in any sport they choose, and it doesn't matter what your gender
No,
is.
There is no boys tournament due to low player
I feel
numbers.
like they are mad that they don't have enough male players in this game, and that's why they want to be included. I do feel sorry for the men's team as well, but it's not fair.
So the team was placed in the girls' competition.
This was just an opportunity and a platform for the men and boys to continue to grow and love and explore and experience our game.
We just want to create a space where boys can play netball and sort of change that landscape.
And so somebody actually let them into the league to compete against the women in the state championship, and you see the result of that. The women got dominated.
Unified on court, but a different attitude among the crowd.
These are for girls only. Remind me of your gender again.
The Queensland Suns all-boys team, the new under-18 state champions, beating Bond University's Bull Sharks, an all-female side.
One of my former teammates, Matt Geyer, his daughter actually played against that male team. They had no chance.
No,
Like the males were just like too fast, too physical. It was just a disadvantage to the girls.
And if it continues, more and more men's teams are going to come in and dominate. Because to be completely honest, men are on average 5 or 6 inches taller than women.
Oh, I want to read this. For a woman raised in the United States, the average height is currently 5 feet 4 inches. This was reported by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and applies to women over the age of 20. Meanwhile, the average height for men of a similar age in the US is around 5 feet 9 inches. And this sport apparently is it's very important to be tall doing this sport. So
Men way more.
I would have no chance.
We're faster.
No chance
In
whatsoever.
terms of upper body strength, we have about 75% more upper body muscle mass and about 90% more upper body strength than women. So we're going to have competitive advantages against women. But again, gender is fluid. There are no differences. There are no differences between men and women. So that's where the contradiction lies. And at least the woman right now that they quoted the Catherine girl, at least she's consistent with her beliefs. If she believes that there are no differences in gender, well, then you do kind of have to be inclusive, right? Yeah. So at least she kind of, it's ridiculous to me, but at least she is consistent with her beliefs. Yep. You can't say that there are no differences between men and women, but yet men can't compete against women in sports. That is to acknowledge an absolute difference between men and women. So
no issue if there's a male competition, but why?
That's my issue as well. Like so many times in these videos, I said that equality is a thing and it should exist. And then when I say but, and then I start literally mentioning these cases where equality should not play any role, people immediately like go nuts in the comments. Like, you cannot say you can be equal, you want to be equal, but then like in these cases you're not equal. Like, make up your mind. And I'm like, I don't know anymore. I just share my opinion where I logically think where things needs to be equal and where things should not be equal. Like, when I say equal, I mean fair. Like, I just want to see fairness in the world.
You have a state competition that's predominantly always been women, and suddenly bring the blokes in and have the blokes win the grand final 30 goals to the women's team. That doesn't seem fair to me.
No, when we watch women's sports, we want to see the best women and girls that the world has to offer. We don't want to see men and boys taking up space on the netball court.
Look how much they're laughing.
The podium.
Oh my God, they actually bullied them.
Boys, they should have forfeited. I mean, if they wanted to play netball, they should have done what women and girls have always historically done. Over the years and decades and centuries of fighting for equality, for access to sporting opportunities. And we've gotten out there, we've done the recruiting, we've done the fundraising, we've built our own leagues. And here you have these boys going, oh, I want to be included, so I'm just going to jump on in with the women, and I don't care about their right to fair competition, don't care about their right to safety. I'm just going to play. So yet again, we're seeing male entitlement, a lovely example of it here from Netball Australia.
It's your fault. Don't blame other people and don't blame men for just using what is obviously there. There is nowhere that it said it's not allowed and it should not happen. So of course they're gonna use that. It's not a gender thing. It's human thing.
Yeah, and of course women.
Why would the men have to forfeit?
Yeah.
Why should the men forfeit?
Why would they
Because
think for
to me
you?
it sounds like you acknowledge some kind of inherent biological advantage that the men have over the women, and that's why they should practice chivalry and forfeit the match for the benefit of the women. Right? But I thought we weren't supposed to practice chivalry anymore. I thought that was out of the window because women don't need men.
Equal.
And
that's
so
so
did
bad.
you just assume their gender?
Oh, wow.
Because if that's what you just did, that's offensive to me.
He's joking. He's
right?
trolling.
Because gender is
trolling.
fluid. So at any moment, you could identify with whatever you wanted to identify as.
Now,
so
is
if before I go on
trolling. He
that
doesn't
basketball
believe
court
that.
or netball court or whatever it's called, if I identify as a woman, you have to treat me as such. So this is no longer men against women. This is women against women. Because trans women are women. And there is no such thing as the men were feeling entitled. They weren't men. They were women when they played the sport. That's what they identified as, and that's how you have to treat them. And these are the contradictions that are in the argument that this is promoting. You can't say that you feel like a woman one moment and you feel like a man at one moment, but there are no differences between women and men. That makes no sense. You saying you feel like a woman and then you feel like a man says that there's a difference in how those two things are. The being of those two things are different. So the whole argument is a contradiction.
Exactly.
And then you want to try to just make it seem like the men were entitled. No, they were practicing a sport. They were joining a league that they were accepted in. Why is that them being entitled to anything? They were accepted. They won the championship through hard work, and it was a fair match, right?
For a long time in AFL to get a women's league up. If this sort of decision stands, you'd be putting men into the women's AFL league, even though there is already a men's AFL league, and you're taking the cause of women's sport back by decades. I want to go to another issue.
It hurts
the
for them to
International
have
Olympic
to say what
Committee,
they
they've
say.
delayed the release of the new transgender guidelines until next year due, they say, to an apparent conflicting opinion. But the IOC's Medical and Science Director, Dr. Richard Budgett, has reassured athletes that the guidelines will prioritise both inclusion and the avoidance of harm. How is it possible to do that if you're going to have biological male athletes, again, compete against women?
Well, you can't. Quite frankly, as I've said, when you have inclusion of men and boys, or men and boys with a special self-declared identity, women and girls lose out. Now, if you look at the principles of sport, fair competition, player safety and welfare and inclusion, you cannot equally balance those. And what the IOC are doing here is they're yet again going to prioritise inclusion, and they're going to put the burden of giving up fair competition and safety on women. So it's completely outrageous. And they should just face up to the fact that they are prioritising the inclusion of males and admit it, instead of pretending that they're trying to be fair to everybody, because they're not.
Save Women's Sport co-founder Catherine Deves, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Peter. Have a good evening.
This guy actually, before he says what he thinks, like them talking about men and inclusion, and then you see other issues as well, like transgenders and inclusion, or people identifying as things and then including them in whatever, like sport and other life and social issues. This is the problem. Like, it is not black and white. There is so much gray shades in it, 50 Shades of Grey, that it is so hard to have a rule and follow that rule. It complicates everything. And this is a topic that people will talk about for so long. And hear me out. Like, for example, you have a transgender from like a male to a female, and that female wants to be a part of female champions, and she still has the power or the strength of the man because she was born biologically a man. And now we have that issue, and they want inclusion, and everybody is celebrating that, and everybody is like, go for it, do it, you need to feel included, because at the end of the day, there is not a lot of people who like a specific sport who are trans, and then who can make a whole group of teams so they can compete on their own league, you know? Like, they have to be included in this league, because then they cannot do that sport. And then even if they want to do it for the rest of their life, they are limited to not do it just because they are transgender. And it is sad, and I understand that, but also it's so complicated to know where to stop, what to allow, what to include, what to not include, because there will be always people who will use the logic against you, or lose the, like, they're gonna try to use the fairness, and things are gonna be unfair. A lot of times things are gonna be unfair.
We completely agree. I pretty much agree with her on every topic, but I don't agree with how she went about saying it. I don't think that the men should quit and let the women win. I don't believe that. I don't think that this is some kind of form of male entitlement. If you're a feminist, and because this idea comes specifically from feminism, the idea that men and women are the same. You can't then go and blame this on the patriarchy when your idea gets exploited and shown to be ridiculous. You can't then double back and say, hey, this is male entitlement. This is a part of the patriarchy. No. This idea comes directly from feminism, so stand on your words. Even when they get shown to be ridiculous, stand on your words. Now, can we be done with it?
No. Oh,
we have so many more conversations to have.
No.
And we're stuck on whether people should use certain bathrooms.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a topic for a while. Let's talk about the
ever-growing threat that is the CCP to Western civilization. Can we talk about that just a little bit? Maybe dabble? Do people think that China's going to care about your gender pronouns when they kick in the door? Like, honestly, do you think that China's going to care about whether you identify as a male or female or what bathroom you use when they kick in your door and they tell you have to do what we say or you're going to die? Do you think that they're going to care about that?
Oh my God, he is going so far now. That's a totally different topic.
That's the real threat to Western civilization right now that we just don't look at because we think the threat is somebody calling a man a man when they identify as a female. Till next time.
He's so done with that. I kind of agree with him, but I feel like this is one way of manipulating us into dealing with these small, I don't want to call it small issues because for some people it's their whole life and it's very important, but issues that relate to a smaller group of people instead of focusing on the overall safety and peace in the world, which is kind of hard. But you can't do that, man, because like we humans just, I don't know, we dabble into so many things and not everything is equally important, but we just do. And yeah, for some people this might be more important than anything else, so you cannot just take that away. But that is it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed my commentary. If you agree, disagree with me, let me know in the comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an upload. Have a wonderful day. I love your faces and see you tomorrow. Bye!